The Valorian Empire sat at the top of the galaxy like a king on a throne. For more than 3,000 years, they ruled over the stars. Their ships were the fastest. Their weapons were the strongest. Their people were the most intelligent. Everyone in the galaxy knew this because the Valorians never let anyone forget it. Deep inside the Imperial Palace, in a room filled with blue lights and strange machines, Commander Teo stood before a massive screen. The screen showed a long list of names. Not names of people, names of planets. Each planet on the list had a number next to it. The numbers showed the order of conquest. Teo was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had done this job for 30 years. He would look at a planet, read the information, and then his forces would go there. Sometimes the people on the planet would fight. Sometimes they would run. Sometimes they would just accept their new rulers. It did not matter what they did. The result was always the same. The Valorians would win. The planet would join the Empire. The list would move on to the next planet. Today, Teo looked at number 47 on the roster. The roster was the official name for this list. It was the list of all planets that the Valorian Empire had decided to add to their territory. The planet was called Earth. According to the information on the screen, Earth was a small planet in a part of the galaxy that most Valorians had never heard of. The species living there were called humans. The report said that humans were interesting in some ways. They were very good at making tools. They could think in creative ways. They had built large cities and machines that could fly through the air, but they had not yet learned how to leave their planet. They had no spaceships. They had no weapons that could hurt the Valorian Empire. They had no friends in the galaxy. No one would help them. This made Earth an easy target. Teo looked at the information again. Earth would be conquered in about 5 years, maybe a little less. There was no rush. There were many planets ahead of Earth on the roster. Some of them had people who could fight back. Some of them had strong weapons. Earth was not like that. Earth was safe, easy, boring. Teo moved his hand and the screen changed. The next planet appeared. Then the next. Then the next. He looked through dozens of worlds that the Empire would take over in the coming years. Each one was marked and numbered and waiting. Earth stayed at number 47. It would wait its turn. Very far away from the Imperial Palace, on a planet called Earth, the sun was setting. The sky turned red and orange. Birds flew toward their homes to sleep. A woman named Q-Ri was still working. She was in a large building that had many computers and machines. This building was an observatory. People came here to look at the stars and learn about space. Q-Ri was sitting in front of a computer screen. Her hair was dark and tied back. Her eyes were red because she had been looking at the screen for many hours. She had not eaten lunch. She had not gone home. She was looking at something very strange. 3 months ago, Q-Ri and her partner Jin-Ho had found a signal coming from space. A signal meant that something was sending out a message, like radio waves, like a light that only machines could see. This signal was not coming from anything that humans had made. It was coming from somewhere far away, from somewhere beyond Earth. At first, everyone said it was nothing. It is just radiation from a star, they said. It is just cosmic noise, they said. Stop wasting our time on this nonsense, they said. But Q-Ri knew it was not nothing. She could feel it. She worked alone in the observatory at night after everyone else had gone home. She wrote programs to find the signal. She made the computers search and search and search through millions of pieces of information. She was looking for a pattern, a message, a meaning. 3 weeks ago, she found it. The signal was not random. It was a code. Someone had sent this code on purpose. Someone wanted humans to find it. Tonight, Q-Ri had finally figured out what the code meant. She read the words on her screen and her hands began to shake. She read them again and again. The words said terrible things. The words said that many planets had been destroyed. The word said that billions of people had died. The word said a name, Valorian Empire. The word said that Earth was next. At the same moment, Jin-Ho was at home eating dinner. He did not know what Q-Ri had discovered. He was eating rice and vegetables and drinking tea. His apartment was small but clean. He had pictures of his family on the walls. He had a pet cat that slept on his bed. His life was simple and happy. He did not know that everything was about to change. Q-Ri's hands moved across the keyboard. She saved the message. She printed the words. She recorded the information. She made copies. She was so excited and so scared that she could hardly breathe. Then she made a decision. She picked up her phone and called Jin-Ho. "You need to come to the observatory," she said. "Right now. Do not tell anyone. Just come." Jin-Ho heard something in her voice that he had never heard before. Fear. Real fear. He put down his food and got dressed. He took a taxi to the observatory. When he arrived, Q-Ri was waiting for him at the door. Her face was pale. She looked like she had not slept in days. "What is wrong?" Jin-Ho asked. "Everything is wrong," Q-Ri said. "Come with me. I need to show you something." They walked into the building together. The lights were bright and cold. The building was empty except for them. Their shoes made sounds on the floor as they walked. They went to the room where all the computers were. Q-Ri sat at her computer and showed Jin-Ho the message. Jin-Ho read it. Then he read it again. His face became pale, too. "This is a warning," Q-Ri said. "Someone sent this to tell us, to tell Earth. Someone wants us to know what is coming." "But who sent it?" Jin-Ho asked. "I do not know," Q-Ri said. "But they know something. They know about us. They know about the Valorian Empire. And they know that the Empire is coming here." "When?" Jin-Ho asked. "When are they coming?" Q-Ri pointed at the numbers in the message, the countdown, the time remaining. "Soon," she said. "Very soon." Outside the observatory, the night was dark and full of stars. Somewhere out there in the blackness of space, a fleet of ships was traveling through the universe. The ships were heading toward Earth. No one on Earth knew they were coming. No one except two scientists in an observatory at night. The countdown had begun. Q-Ri and Jin-Ho looked at each other. They knew they could not tell anyone about this yet. No one would believe them. They would think they were crazy. They needed proof. They needed more information. They needed to understand what was coming and how to prepare. They had so many questions, and so little time to find the answers. The night was long and cold, and it was just the beginning. The next 2 weeks were the hardest weeks of Q-Ri's life. She did not sleep much. She did not eat much. She worked every single day and every single night, trying to understand the message better, trying to find more information, trying to figure out what they should do. Jin-Ho helped her as much as he could. He was good with computers and codes. Together, they dug deeper and deeper into the signal. They found more information hidden in the message, information that made them understand the danger more and more. The message was not just a warning, it was also proof. Inside the message were records, records of planets that had been destroyed, records of species that had been erased from the galaxy. 46 planets, 46 different kinds of people, all gone, all destroyed by the Valorian Empire. The Valorian Empire had taken them all and killed them all and made it look like natural disasters, like accidents, like the planets just disappeared. But it was not accidents. It was murder. It was genocide on a massive scale, and Earth was next. Q-Ri and Jin-Ho learned that the Valorian Empire kept something called the roster. The roster was a list of all the planets they planned to destroy and take over. They were working their way through the list, one by one. They had done this for thousands of years. They would come to a planet, tell the people to surrender, and if the people refused, they would destroy everything. They would kill billions of people. Then they would take the planet's resources and move on to the next name on the roster. Earth was number 47 on this list. 46 planets had already been destroyed. 46 civilizations had already died. Now, it was Earth's turn. The message also included something else, something that gave them hope. The message included technical information about the Valorian ships, information about their weapons, information about their defenses. Whoever had sent this message wanted them to know. Whoever sent it wanted them to understand the Empire's weaknesses. This meant one thing: someone inside the Empire was helping them. One night, Q called Jin Ho and told him they needed to tell someone else, someone who could help them, someone with power, someone who could make things happen. They could not keep this secret much longer. The world needed to know. "But who will believe us?" Jin Ho asked. "We have a signal. We have some information. That is not enough." "Then we need to find more," Q said. "And we need to find someone who works for the government, someone in the military, someone who can listen to us and understand." Jin Ho thought about this. He had a cousin named Min Suk. Min Suk worked in a very secret government office. Min Suk could not talk about his work. No one even knew exactly what Min Suk did. But Min Suk had power. Min Suk could get things done. If anyone could help them, it was Min Suk. Jin Ho called his cousin the next morning. "I need to see you," Jin Ho said. "It is very important, very secret, very serious." Min Suk was a serious person. He always looked serious. He had short hair and strong shoulders. He had a job that nobody understood and a face that never smiled. When Jin Ho told him about the meeting, Min Suk agreed to come. He knew that Jin Ho would not call unless something was truly wrong. They met at the observatory late at night. Min Suk arrived in a car with no markings. He came alone. Q and Jin Ho showed him everything they had found. They showed him the message. They showed him the records of the destroyed planets. They showed him the information about the Valorian ships. Min Suk read everything carefully. He did not say anything while he read. When he finished, he sat down slowly. "This is real," he said. It was not a question. It was a statement. "Yes," Q said. "It is real, and we need to tell the world." "No," Min Suk said. "Not yet. If we tell the world now, there will be panic. There will be chaos. People will not know what to do. People will be afraid. We need a plan first. We need to know how to fight this." "Can we fight them?" Jin Ho asked. "Can we really fight the Valorian Empire?" Min Suk looked at the information about the Valorian ships again. He studied the technical details. He looked at the weapons information. He thought about what he knew from his secret government work. Then he looked at Q and Jin Ho. "Maybe," he said, "but we will need help. We will need scientists, engineers, military people. We will need to build weapons that can hurt them. We will need to find their weaknesses and use them against them. And we will need time." "How much time do we have?" Q asked. Min Suk looked at the countdown in the message. "Not enough," he said, "but we have to try." Min Suk told them his plan. He would go to the government. He would tell them that there was a threat coming from space. He would not tell them everything. He would not tell them that the threat was the Valorian Empire or that Earth was on their list. He would just say that a threat was coming. A serious threat, something that required all of humanity to work together. "They will believe me because of my position," Min Suk said. "And once they believe me, once they start preparing, you two can help. You can give them the real information, step by step, slowly, until everyone knows the truth." "And when they know the truth?" Jin Ho asked. "Then we prepare for war," Min Suk said. "We make weapons, we train soldiers, we build defenses, we do everything we can to fight them." "And if we cannot win?" Q asked. Min Suk stood up. He looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, a fleet was traveling toward Earth. Somewhere out there, people called Valorians were coming to destroy everything. "Then we fight anyway," Minsuk said, "because that is what humans do. We do not give up. We do not surrender. We fight." The three of them agreed to work together. Minsuk would handle the government and the military. Kyuri and Jin-ho would continue studying the message and the technical information. They would look for any advantage they could find. Minsuk went back to his office early the next morning. He walked into a meeting with the highest leaders of the government and military. He told them there was a threat. He told them it was serious. He told them they needed to prepare. At first, they did not believe him. They thought he was crazy. But Minsuk had been right many times before. Minsuk was a careful person. Minsuk did not get excited or emotional. If Minsuk said there was a threat, then there probably was. They decided to listen to him. The next few weeks were full of activity. Government started building things. Military people started training. Weapons were being made. Money was being spent. Everyone could feel that something was happening. Something big. Something important. But nobody knew what. Only Kyuri, Jin-ho, and Minsuk knew the real truth. And the countdown kept getting smaller. Time was running out. Somewhere in space, the Valorian ships were getting closer and closer to Earth. Soon, very soon, they would arrive. And when they did, everything would change. The entire world would have to wake up to the danger. The entire world would have to prepare to fight. Because Earth was next on their roster. And there was nothing that could stop that. Nothing except the people of Earth themselves. 3 months passed. 3 months of secret work and hidden preparations. Around the world, in every country, things were changing. Governments were building things underground. Military bases were getting bigger and stronger. Scientists were working on new weapons. Engineers were building new machines. But the public did not know what was happening. They just knew something was happening. People started to talk. They wondered. They asked questions. But the governments told them nothing. The government said it was just training exercises, just improvements, nothing to worry about. But everyone could feel it. Something big was coming. Kyuri and Jin-ho were now working in a secret facility. It was hidden deep under the ground near Seoul, Korea. It was called the Underground Research Center. Many scientists worked there now. Many intelligent people. Many people who had figured out pieces of the puzzle. Now they were all working together to understand the Valorian threat. Kyuri was sitting in a large room with many computers and screens. The room was very bright with blue and green lights. Dozens of people were working all around her. Everyone was busy. Everyone was focused. They were all trying to solve the same problem. How could they fight the Valorian Empire? The Valorian ships were huge. The Valorian weapons were very powerful. The Valorian soldiers had better training and better equipment. Humans did not have any chance in a direct fight. Everyone knew this. But they had to try anyway. Kyuri had been studying the technical information from the message. She was looking for weaknesses. Places where the Valorian technology was not perfect. Places where human technology could hurt them. Then she found something. The Valorian ships had a targeting system. This system was very advanced. It could hit targets from very far away. It could hit many targets at the same time, but it had one weakness. The system used electromagnetic signals to work. These signals could be disrupted. Kyuri called a meeting. She told all the scientists and engineers about what she had found. "The Valorian ships cannot fight if we disrupt their targeting system," she said. "If we can send electromagnetic pulses at the right moment, we can make their weapons stop working. For a short time, they will be blind. They will not be able to hit us." An engineer named Hae-won was very excited about this idea. Hae-won was a brilliant woman who could build almost anything. Her mind was full of ideas. She could look at a problem and see the answer right away. "I can build weapons that send electromagnetic pulses," Hae-won said. "I can make them powerful enough to reach the Valorian ships. I can make them work from the ground or from our planes. I need the right materials and the right time, but I can do it." How long? Min-suk asked. He was always thinking about time. 3 months, Haiwan said. Maybe 2 if I have enough people helping me. Everyone looked at each other. 2 or 3 months. That was not much time. But it was better than nothing. Another scientist was a man named Tai Sung. He was a professor of quantum physics. He knew about things that most people could not understand. He knew about the very small things and the very big things. He knew about light and energy and the laws of the universe. Tai Sung had been studying the Valorian shields. The shields were what protected the ships from attacks. They were very strong, very hard to break. But Tai Sung had found something interesting. The shields use a phase shift technology, Tai Sung said. They move between different frequencies to protect themselves. But there is a moment when they have to shift from one frequency to another. In that moment, there is a gap. There is a very short time when the shield is weak. How short? Curie asked. Maybe 1 second, Tai Sung said. Maybe less. Can we hit them in that moment? Min-suk asked. If we time it perfectly, Tai Sung said. If we send our weapons at exactly the right moment, if the timing is perfect, then yes, we can hit them. This was important information. If they could find the frequency pattern and predict when the shields would shift, they could attack at the right moment. They could hurt the Valorian ships, maybe even destroy them. The underground research center became busier and busier. More scientists came, more engineers came, more military people came. Everyone was working toward the same goal. Everyone was trying to find new ways to fight the Valorian Empire. Days and nights were the same. There was no time for sleep. There was no time for rest. Everyone was working as hard as they could. Haiwan was building electromagnetic pulse weapons in a large factory room. She had teams of engineers helping her. They were constructing the weapons piece by piece. The weapons were massive. They were tall and heavy and full of electronics and power systems. But they were deadly. If they worked, they could change everything. Tai Sung was working on prediction software. He was trying to create a computer program that could predict when the Valorian shields would shift frequencies. He was using the technical information from the message to build the program. The program had to be perfect. It had to be accurate. Because if it was not accurate, the timing would be wrong and the attack would fail. Curie was working on everything. She was helping Haiwan design the weapons. She was helping Tai Sung build the prediction program. She was also communicating with other research centers around the world. Scientists everywhere were working on the same problem. Scientists in America. Scientists in Europe. Scientists in Japan. Scientists in India. Scientists everywhere. They were all trying to find ways to fight the Valorian Empire. It was the greatest international cooperation in human history. All the countries of Earth were working together. All the governments were helping. All the militaries were preparing. All the scientists were sharing information because they all knew the same thing. Earth was under sentence of death. One night, Curie and Jin Ho were walking through the underground research center. The facility was very large. It had many rooms and many levels. It went very deep into the ground. Tunnels connected different areas. There were places for living, places for working, places for storing weapons and equipment. This was humanity's new home. This was where they would fight their greatest battle. "Do you think we can win?" Jin Ho asked. Curie looked around the facility. She saw scientists working. She saw engineers building. She saw soldiers training. She saw people from all countries working together. She saw hope. Even in this dark underground place, there was hope. "I do not know," Curie said, "but I know that we have to try. We have to do everything we can. We have to use everything we have. And maybe, just maybe, we have a chance." "How much time do we have?" Jin Ho asked. Curie looked at the countdown that was displayed on screens all around the facility. The number was getting smaller every day, every hour, every minute. "Not much," she said, But we are using every second, and when they come, we will be ready. Min-suk was in a different room, planning with military commanders from many countries. They were looking at maps of where the Valorian ships might arrive, maps of where the battles might happen, maps of Earth with lines drawn showing where the defenses would be. They were planning for a war that no human had ever fought before. The commanders were serious and quiet. They knew what was coming. They knew how powerful the Valorian Empire was. But they also knew that they had no choice. They had to prepare. They had to fight. They had to give Earth a chance to survive. "We need to hit them hard when they arrive," one commander said. "We need to be coordinated," another commander said. "We need to use every advantage we can find," a third commander said. Min-suk nodded. He was thinking about the weapons that Haiwan was building. He was thinking about the prediction software that Tae-sung was creating. He was thinking about the information that Kyuri had gathered. He was thinking about all of it. "We will be ready," Min-suk said. "When they come, we will show them that Earth is not an easy target. We will show them that humans do not surrender without a fight." The countdown continued. Days became weeks, weeks became months, and with each passing day, humanity became stronger. They were preparing for the greatest battle in Earth's history. And soon, the time would come. Soon the Valorian Empire would arrive, and everything would change forever. The message came at night. It came through the same signal that Kyuri had been monitoring for months. But this time, it was different. This time, it was new. This time, it was a voice. Kyuri was sleeping in her small room in the underground research center when the alarm sounded. She jumped out of bed. Her heart was beating very fast. She ran to the communication room where Jin-ho was already waiting. He looked scared. "What is it?" she asked. "Listen," Jin-ho said. He played the message. It was a woman's voice. The voice was clear and strong. The woman was speaking in English. "This is Captain Yuna of the Kashari people. I am broadcasting from a hidden location within Valorian space. I have been following your progress on Earth. You have done well. You are preparing. You are fighting. I am here to tell you that you are not alone in this battle. There are others in the Empire who want freedom. There are others who are tired of the Valorian rule. We are ready to fight." Kyuri and Jin-ho looked at each other. They could not believe what they were hearing. The voice continued. "My name is Yun-ah. For many years I have worked as an officer in the Valorian military, but I have learned the truth about what the Empire has done. I have learned about the roster. I have learned about the planets that have been destroyed. I have learned about the billions of people who have died, and I have decided to fight back." Captain Yun-ah explained that she was part of a secret resistance movement within the Valorian Empire. There were others like her, other soldiers who were tired of killing, other officers who were tired of the lies, other species that had been enslaved by the Empire for so long that they wanted freedom more than anything. "We have ships," Yun-ah said. "Not many. Not as many as the Empire. But we have ships. We have fighters. We have people who are willing to die for freedom. We have been waiting for the right moment. Waiting for something that could change everything. And that thing is you. Earth. Your species. Humans. You are the key to starting a revolution that could tear the Empire apart." She explained her plan. When the Valorian fleet arrived at Earth, humanity would fight. They would attack. They would resist. This would force the Empire to send more ships. This would force the Empire to focus on Earth. And while the Empire was focused on Earth, Yuna and her forces would strike across the galaxy. They would attack Valorian worlds. They would free enslaved species. They would spark rebellions on 100 planets. "But we need you," Yun-ah said. "We need you to hold. We need you to fight and survive long enough for us to start the larger revolution. If Earth falls, everything falls. But if Earth can stand against the Empire, if Earth can show that the Empire can be hurt, that the Empire can be challenged, then everything changes. The message ended. Curie and Jin-Ho sat in silence for a long time. They did not know what to say. They had thought they were alone. They had thought it was just Earth against the Valorian Empire. But now, they knew the truth. They were not alone. There were others. There was hope. Jin-Ho ran to get Min-Suk. Within minutes, all the important people in the underground research center were gathered. Curie played the message again. Everyone listened carefully. "This changes everything," Min-Suk said. "We are not just defending Earth now. We are starting a galactic war." "Can we really do this?" someone asked. "We have to," Min-Suk said, "because if we do not, everything dies anyway. At least this way, we have a chance to fight back. At least this way, we have a chance to win." For the next weeks, Curie worked with Jin-Ho to send a response to Yuna. They sent a message back into space. They told her about the weapons they were building. They told her about the defenses they were preparing. They told her that Earth would fight, that Earth would resist, that Earth would not surrender. They established a secret communication channel. Now they could talk to Yuna whenever they needed to. Now they could coordinate their plans. Now they could work together. Curie began to receive more technical information from Yuna. Information about the Valorian ships. Information about their command structure. Information about their tactics. Information that would help humans fight them. More importantly, Yuna sent information about an important fact. Something that changed everything. The Valorian Empire was not as strong as it seemed. The Empire was old. The Empire was tired. The Empire was stretched thin across thousands of worlds. The Empire had to keep control of countless species through fear and force. This took many ships. This took many soldiers. This took many resources. If the Empire had to fight a serious war on one world, if they had to send many ships to one place, then their control in other places would become weak. Other species would see this weakness. Other species would rise up. The Empire had never fought a real resistance movement because no one had ever been powerful enough to resist. The Valorians had conquered so many worlds that everyone had accepted defeat. No one fought back, but humans were different. Humans are different because you do not know that you should surrender, Yuna told them in a message. You have never fought the Valorian Empire before. You do not have generations of defeat in your hearts. You do not carry the weight of lost wars. You are new. You are young. You are hungry. And you are angry. Curie understood. This was what made humans special. Humans did not accept that they were weak. Humans did not accept that they could not win. Even when the odds were terrible, even when the enemy was stronger, humans would fight. This was the secret. This was the hope. The weapons were almost finished. HFY had completed the first electromagnetic pulse cannons. They were massive machines that took up entire rooms. They could be moved on trucks and set up in hiding places. When they were activated, they would send out a pulse of electromagnetic energy that would blind the Valorian ships. For a few seconds, the targeting systems would stop working. For a few seconds, the ships would be helpless. Tae-Sung's prediction software was 98% accurate. He had tested it many times. The software could predict when the Valorian shields would shift. It could tell the exact moment when the shields would be weak. It could give humans a window of time, maybe just 1 or 2 seconds to attack. 1 second. That was all they would need. 1 second to hit a Valorian ship when its shields were down. 1 second to hurt them. 1 second to prove that they could be hurt. Min-Suk was coordinating military forces from all over the world. Fighter planes were being prepared. Ground forces were training. Soldiers were learning the tactics that Yuna had sent them. Everything was ready. Almost everything. Then Curie made a decision. She went to Min-Suk and told him her idea. We need to tell the people, she said. We need to tell the whole world. No more secrets, no more hiding. The people of Earth need to know the truth. They will panic, Minsuk said. Maybe, Curie said. But they deserve to know. They deserve to understand what is coming. They deserve to have a choice. Do they run? Do they hide? Or do they fight? Minsuk thought about this for a long time. Then he nodded. You are right, he said. They deserve to know. 2 days later, Curie prepared a message that would be broadcast to every person on Earth. A message that would change everything. She stood in front of cameras in the underground research center. She looked directly into the camera. She spoke in a calm and clear voice. My name is Dr. Curie, she said. I am an astrophysicist. I am speaking to you with news about a threat to Earth, a threat from space, a threat from a civilization called the Valorian Empire. This threat is real. This threat is coming, and everyone on Earth needs to know what we are facing. She told them everything. She told them about the roster. She told them about the destroyed planets. She told them about the billions of people who had died. She told them that Earth was next. She told them about the weapons that humans had built. She told them about the resistance movement across the galaxy. She told them about the hope. We are going to fight, she said. We are going to resist. We are going to show them that Earth will not be conquered. We are going to show them that humans do not give up. We are going to show them that we will fight for our world, for our freedom, and for our lives. The message was broadcast across the entire world. It was on every screen. It was on every radio. It was heard in every country. Everyone on Earth heard the message. Everyone on Earth learned the truth. For a moment, there was silence. Then the world exploded into action. Governments declared war. Military forces mobilized. Weapons were distributed. Soldiers took their positions. People volunteered to fight. People volunteered to build. People volunteered to help. For the first time in human history, every country on Earth was working together. Every person on Earth was preparing for the same battle, the same enemy, the same future. The Valorian fleet appeared on the monitors first. They showed up as small dots on the screen, coming from the darkness of space. The dots grew bigger and bigger as the ships moved closer and closer to Earth. The monitors showed everything: numbers, distances, speed. The information was exact and terrible. The fleet was here. In the underground research center, everyone was silent. People stood and watched the monitors, watched the enemy come closer. The countdown that had been ticking for so many months finally reached 0. Curie was standing next to Jin Ho. Minsuk was standing with the military commanders. Hei Wan was in the weapons room with her engineers. Tai Sung was in the software room, his hands moving across the keyboard, making last-minute adjustments to the prediction program. The countdown reached 0. Then it went negative. The Valorian ships began to enter Earth's atmosphere. They were massive. The largest ship, the command ship, was the size of a small mountain. It had weapons ports all over its surface, shields that glowed with a strange blue light, a presence that was overwhelming and terrible. Commander Teo stood on the bridge of his command ship. He looked down at Earth below him, a small planet, a young species, an easy target. He had done this many times before. He had conquered many worlds. He had destroyed many civilizations. This would be like all the others. He broadcast a message to the people on Earth. I am Commander Teo of the Valorian Empire. You are now under the control of the Empire. You have 1 hour to surrender. After that time, we will destroy your cities. We will kill your people. We will take your world. You can choose to surrender now and be spared, or you can fight and die. The choice is yours. In the underground research center, everyone heard the message. Everyone heard the threat. Everyone heard the darkness in those words. Minsuk looked at Curie. Curie nodded. Fire, Minsuk said. At that moment, across the entire world, electromagnetic pulse weapons began to activate. In hidden locations everywhere, machines that Hei Wan had built powered up. They aimed at the sky. They aimed at the Valorian ships. And they fired. Beams of electromagnetic energy shot up into the atmosphere. The beams hit the Valorian ships. The ship's targeting systems went dark. The communication systems went dark. The ship's sensors went dark. For the first time in Valorian military history, they were blind. They could not see. They could not target. They could not attack. On the command ship bridge, alarms started to sound. Screens went red. Teo's face changed from calm to shocked to angry. "What is happening?" he demanded. "Electromagnetic pulse attack, sir," an officer said. "Our systems are rebooting. We are offline for at least 2 minutes." 2 minutes. It was the longest 2 minutes of the Valorian fleet's existence. Taesung's prediction software was counting down, counting the seconds, counting the moments, waiting for the exact instant when the Valorian shields would shift frequencies. At the precise moment of the shift, when the shields dropped for that single second, human aircraft and ground-based weapons attacked. Fighter planes launched missiles, missiles that HFY had designed, missiles that humans had built with their own hands, missiles that flew through the air and smashed into the Valorian ships. For the first time, the Valorian ships were hit. For the first time, they were hurt. Explosions lit up the sky. Part of a shield generator on one of the escort ships was destroyed. Another ship lost a weapons system. The Valorian forces realized something that had never happened to them before. They were being hurt by a civilization they had decided to destroy. Commander Teo ordered the ships to fight back. The Valorian weapons began to fire, and when they fired, they did not miss. A city in Japan was hit, buildings collapsed, fires started, thousands of people died in an instant. The destruction was terrible. The death was real. Another city in South America was hit, then another in Africa. The Valorian ships were taking revenge for being hurt. They were showing their power. They were showing what happened when you fought them. But the people of Earth did not stop fighting. Minsuk coordinated from the Underground Research Center. He sent more fighters into the sky. He sent more missiles. He sent everything they had. Soldiers on the ground fought with weapons that humans had built. Soldiers fought with courage that humans had always had. Soldiers fought because they knew if they did not fight, everyone would die anyway. In Seoul, HFY was directing her electromagnetic pulse weapons. She activated them again and again. Every time the weapons fired, the Valorian ships became blind again. Every time the ships were blind, more attacks hit them. A fighter pilot named Min Suk's cousin fired his missiles and hit a Valorian ship directly. The ship exploded. The first Valorian ship was destroyed. It took human lives. It took human courage. It took human determination. But it was destroyed. Taesung's software was working perfectly. It predicted every shield shift. It gave the weapons the exact moment to attack. Humans and Valorian technology worked together, and they were hurting the enemy. But the Valorians had more ships, more weapons, more power. In a hospital in Seoul, people were hiding. A young girl was holding her mother's hand. The hospital was damaged. The windows were broken. But they were alive. They were still alive. A Valorian landing force tried to land on the ground. They wanted to capture cities. They wanted to show the humans that fighting was useless. But the ground forces were ready. Military soldiers fought with weapons. Civilians fought with tools they had made. People who had never fought before. People who had office jobs and teaching jobs and farm jobs, they fought. They died. Many of them died. But they did not stop fighting. Hours passed. Then a whole day passed. The battle continued. More Valorian ships were damaged. 2 more were destroyed. But more cities were destroyed too. More people died. The cost of fighting was terrible, but the alternative was extinction. Then Kyuri received a message from Yuna. "We are moving," the message said. "We are attacking Valorian positions across the galaxy. We are starting the revolution. Every world is rising up. Every species is fighting for freedom. You have given us this chance. Earth is giving this to us. Hold for just a little longer. We are coming. Minsuk saw this message. He showed it to everyone in the underground research center. If Earth could hold just a little longer, help would come. Real help. Yun-Ah's forces. Other species. A galactic rebellion that would shake the Empire. Keep fighting, Minsuk told his soldiers. Keep fighting. Do not give up, not now, not when we are so close to winning. In the sky, human fighter pilots kept flying. They kept attacking. They kept dying, and they kept killing the enemy. Haywan's weapons kept firing. Pulse after pulse of electromagnetic energy, again and again. Taesung's software kept predicting. Every shield shift, every moment of weakness, every opportunity, and the people of Earth kept fighting. For 2 days, they fought. The Valorian commander started to realize something that shocked him. This world was fighting back harder than any world had ever fought back. These humans were not surrendering. They were not accepting defeat. They were fighting even though they were losing. They were dying, but they were still fighting. It made no sense to Teo. It made no sense to the Valorian way of thinking. But it made perfect sense to humans. Because humans were made to fight. Humans were made to survive. Humans were made to never give up, even when the odds were impossible. On the 3rd day, Yun-Ah's fleet appeared in Earth's orbit. It was not a huge fleet. Not compared to the Valorian Empire. But it was enough. Ships from species that had been enslaved. Ships piloted by people who wanted freedom. Ships that opened fire on the Valorian forces. The Valorian fleet suddenly found itself surrounded, fighting on the ground, fighting in the sky, fighting in space, fighting from multiple directions. Commander Teo received orders from the Empire. The orders were simple. Stop the resistance. Crush them. Show them that the Empire cannot be challenged. But Teo was realizing something else. The Empire itself was under attack everywhere, every world in the galaxy, every planet that the Valorians controlled. Something was happening, something bigger than Earth. The entire Empire was cracking, the entire system was breaking down. He had to make a decision. Withdraw, Teo said finally. The Valorian fleet began to retreat. The ships that could still fly powered up their engines. They left Earth's atmosphere. They headed back into space. They left the battle. In the underground research center, Curie watched the monitors as the Valorian ships disappeared. She could not believe it. They were leaving. The Valorian Empire was leaving. People in the streets began to cheer. In Korea, in every country, in every city, people were crying and shouting and hugging each other. They had survived. Humanity had survived. The cost had been terrible. 2 billion people had died. Entire cities were destroyed. The planet was wounded. But humanity was alive. And the Valorian Empire had been forced to run. This had never happened before in the history of the galaxy. A young species. A species with old weapons and new courage. A species that should have been destroyed had instead become the spark that lit a revolution. Earth had not just survived. Earth had changed everything.